Alright, I'm sick and tired of watching you guys let the enemy mid do whatever they want with no punishes whatsoever. It actually hurts to watch because you guys don't know how many free kills the enemy laner is just gifting to you, and you just need to press your buttons and take it. I'm not even exaggerating, it's that easy. I know you don't believe me, so today I'm just going to show you a bunch of different scenarios from random games in the gold and silver area where players just won't accept the free kills the enemy is giving them all of the laning phase. In this first one, we have a Zoe vs Fizz in Silver 1. The Fizz used both of his summoner spells before laning started, killing Zoe's jungler. So, she knows he doesn't have any summoners. Now, a Fizz with no ignite or flash is about as threatening as a cannon minion levels 1 to 3. But let's see what Zoe does. Right off the bat, Fizz autos the wave twice and Zoe doesn't hit him with anything. Both players just straight up trolling. Fizz shouldn't be touching the wave because Zoe can just punish him with autos and Q. Zoe should be just using her first part of her Q, empowered auto, shoot the Q, another empowered auto. This would proc electrocute, and if Fizz doesn't dodge the Q, he loses half of his health just like that. But let's keep going. Zoe uses a long range Q like this, which has no chance of hitting Fizz, and she doesn't use any empowered autos on the still trolling enemy mid. Fizz again should not be this far up, and just isn't being punished for it. Zoe's Q should be first shot towards Fizz, then the second part is almost impossible to miss when it's that close. That's how you use Zoe Q versus melees. You don't go for these long range ones that are easy to avoid by standing behind minions. Zoe finally hits Fizz with some autos, 4 entire autos actually. And look at the damage Fizz took. That wasn't any empowered autos, Qs, electrocute, nothing. Just plain old autos. That's a nice chunk honestly. This next part is big though, and I'm going to test you as well. Fizz goes for an E onto Zoe for who knows what reason, and he misses. How much health should Fizz have after this trade is over? He's at 60% right now. First, let's see what Zoe does, then we'll talk about it. Zoe hits Fizz with a few autos and gets him to about 20% health. It should be extremely obvious to you that the moment Fizz missed his E, he was dead. And this is even if he had flash up. The fact that he has no flash or ignite up and is still allowed to live here is unreal. This is what I mean by getting away with murder. It's also what I mean by the enemy laner literally throwing themselves at you and giving you kills. All Zoe had to do was ignite and run down the Fizz with auto attacks. Her Q would be back up before Fizz got to tower, but she wouldn't even need it. On top of this is after that extremely suboptimal level 1 where Zoe didn't poke Fizz down at all except for the 4 autos before this trade. Imagine if he played it properly. He would have even lower health to start with. Also, I don't want to hear the bullshit from you guys saying these players are so bad and you never go versus players like this, because it's nonsense and y'all on some heavy dosage of copium. I see this in every single game gold and below, I even see it in plat diamond. Anyways, it doesn't get any better sadly. It's crazy to me you guys play this way because it makes me wonder the thought process. Why is Zoe playing so far back like Fizz is any threat to her at level 1 with his E on cooldown? He literally can't get on top of her to damage her, so what could she possibly be afraid of? Then Zoe hits level 2, which is when she should just be running straight at the Fizz and killing him, right? Nah, we're just gonna let Fizz do whatever he wants and not punish him for a constant 45 seconds of trolling. I was coaching someone the other day who was playing Ahri vs Kassadin. They did pretty much the exact same thing and they were in gold. When we were going over it, he said, "Watching it now, I can always see how free these kills are, but when I play, I just don't see it." This is a common problem, and it's why you shouldn't be so quick to call the players bad when you're anywhere near this elo. You make all the same mistakes as them, and you just don't realize it. Alright, we're going to wrap this replay up with this next trade, where Fizz jumps on Zoe with a big wave surrounding her, and he doesn't have summoners, remember. So once again, he should just die. It hurts my eyes and my soul to watch this, so we're just going to move on to the next replay. For this next replay, we're in gold 3 with the Silas vs Vlad. I'm not even trying to find good replays for this video, by the way. I'm just opening the first game I find in whatever elo I want to show you guys, and every time these mistakes are made. It doesn't matter what game I open. But anyways, let's jump into this one. At the start of the lane, both of them are auto-attacking minions, and then Vlad uses his Q to grab a last hit. The first mistake has now been made. Why would Vlad ever use his Q on CS when he's full health? He should be using it on Silas when he's walking up for a last hit, or if Silas jumps in at level 1 with his E, which is what he should do. So now that Vlad Q is on cooldown, Silas should just jump in with his E and auto the Vlad down. Silas has Conqueror, so Vlad would have to just disengage or he could actually die to Silas level 1. But as expected, Silas isn't going to punish Vlad for wasting Q, and he's just going to hit minions and let Vlad auto him. At this point, Vlad has wasted his Q 3 times. Vlad Q has a cooldown of 8 seconds, so that's a total of 24 seconds, where Silas had a window to jump in and easily win a trade with Vlad since he would have nothing up but autos to fight back with. And here's the best part, for some unknown reason, as soon as Vlad's next wave arrives, so he actually has a wave to fight with, now Silas decides it's time to fight. Look at the damage though, he did half of Vlad's health with that, and it's because, like I said, Silas level 1 is nothing to joke about. He does a lot of damage and can abuse champs like Vlad who have weak level 1s, especially when they waste their healing ability for no reason and give free trading windows. If Silas did this twice, he could kill Vlad or have him really low by now. Anyways, after this, Silas needs to sit back and wait for Vlad's empowered Q to fall off, then he should be ready to go in right away. You don't want to let Vlad just spam Q and sustain back up. Every time his Q is down, he is punishable. Vlad walks up here to use his empowered Q on a minion, so Silas should be ready to jump in the moment Vlad uses it. As usual, and it's no surprise to me, Vlad gets away with murder and is allowed to just freely do this without punish. If Silas did half of Vlad's health with just his E at level 1, imagine how much damage he could do with W added to the mix, which also gives him another passive auto. We're going to skip ahead just a bit now as Silas just crashes the wave on the tower, and neither of them really do anything. Silas is going to jump in on Vlad when Vlad has his empowered Q up, which isn't when he should be going in. But Vlad trolls right back and uses pool, and he doesn't even get the empowered Q off on the Silas. If you don't know, Vlad empowered Q does nearly double the damage and heals a lot more, so giving him empowered Qs is an easy way to lose lane. And the empowered Q healing is reduced significantly on minions, so that's why it's a big deal he didn't use it on Silas when it was so free. But now Silas is going to roam to the top fight and grab a kill, which gives him red buff. Then he returns to lane. Now I have a question for you. Do you think Silas should go in here? So Silas should go in here, or he can just wait until Vlad's empowered Q goes away. Either way, the reason it doesn't matter is because he has red buff. Red buff is very OP and gives a ton of out of combat sustain and a slow and extra damage. It's impossible for Silas to lose an all in while having red, so he should just bully the hell out of Vlad now. You think Silas does it? Well, let's see. To my surprise, Silas actually takes advantage of this and kills the Vlad with ease. Some of you might be wondering now though, what is Vlad supposed to do here? It seems like he has no counterplay. Well, the reason Vlad is even in this mess at the moment is because he played the first 3 levels of the lane extremely wrong. This lane would be in an entirely different state if he played it right. The way this matchup should have went was, Vlad autos minions to get the push advantage, and whenever Silas walks up, he hits Silas with Q. This would lead to Vlad having a slow push wave where he can stack up 3 waves and crash them on Silas's tower, while also having a big health advantage. And if you remember, Vlad was just spamming Qs on minions, which literally gave him 0 benefit. Not only would Vlad be in a better spot in the 1v1, but Silas wouldn't even have the chance to roam because Vlad should have had lane priority at that time. This is why it's so important to play matchups properly from start to finish. Alright, for this next one, we're still in gold. Looking at TF versus Akali. Akali has Ignite and TP, so she doesn't have Flash. TF should play this matchup the exact same way Vlad should have played versus Silas. Slow push 3 waves, poke Akali when she goes for last hits. The first thing TF does is throw a red card to grab the 3 low CS. We can let this slide, it's fine, he should be using normal autos to get those, but it's whatever. He doesn't poke Akali when she goes to use Q on these CS, which again, we will let slide, since he didn't have a pick a card and the 3 range minions would basically even the trade out. Then after they both walk in circles for a bit, TF pulls another red card to kill these range minions. This time, they are not all dying at the same time, so we're not going to let this slide. This was just a waste of potential harass that he could get on the Akali when she walks up for these next last hits. There's no benefit of throwing red card here. He should just be auto-attacking minions and using pick a card and auto-attacks on Akali when she walks up. But of course Akali just walks right on up and grabs last hits for free, and they both hit level 2. Then TF uses pick a card again and just locks in blue and throws it. I have no idea the thought process behind it, I don't think there was one. No minions were low for Akali to get, so he's not pressuring her with it, he's just throwing it to throw it. He had full mana before he used it as well. Sadly, he does this twice in a row, and every single time Akali walks up for a minion, she should be getting hit with that pick a card or an auto attack. Then as TF clears the next wave, it seems like he tried to hit Akali with Q, but then when Akali is clearly walking for last hit, and she has no minions to fight for her, since they are still too far back, TF runs away. This is what I mean guys, Akali has no way of doing anything to TF right now. He has a big wave behind him, he's Ranger's melee, Akali is going for last hit. Even if it was just a one simple auto attack he threw at her to punish the last hit, I would be happy. Anyways, after this we have my favorite part of every low elo laning phase, the part where one person should be playing very scared because they're at a massive disadvantage for some reason, levels, health, etc. But that person is walking forward while the person with the advantage is playing scared. TF is going to hit level 3 and Akali is to level 2. TF also has the minion advantage. There's no world ever that Akali can trade with TF. If this was high elo, Akali would be way back not letting TF touch her. But look at how TF is playing. He's playing so scared. And Akali is just walking up begging TF to hit her with a pick a card, Q, auto, electric Q combo for free, but he just doesn't do it. But we always have the counter troll part as well. TF cycles his cards and finally throws something right as Akali hits level 3. She should have just leveled up her next ability, used E on TF and went in. TF wouldn't have pick a card, so she would win this trade very hard and could potentially kill the TF here, but just like the TF, she does nothing. After this, TF leaves an entire wave to go into his jungle, which you should never do. You always push this last wave before leaving. Losing an entire wave worth of experience at this point in the game loses you your lane just like that. And while TF is griefing, Akali has to do her part to counter troll. She's going to eat a ton of minion damage for no reason at all under tower. She should just be letting the minions hit the tower and then she could just walk up. But she loses nearly 200 health for this and doesn't use her potion. And on top of it, she uses her most important cooldown to get the minions that were perfectly fine and set up the last hit. She actually only got one range minion, which is worth 14 gold, using her 20-second cooldown, which happens to be her most important cooldown in laning phase. Luckily for her, TF gave up an entire wave for nothing, so she's level 4 and he's level 3, so she's much stronger. But after TF throws a red card, Akali walks up and hits TF with her Q and E. This will be really good and she could actually kill TF here. But she doesn't have her W until it's way too late, because she used it for 14 gold, and she dies for it. Honestly, in this one, I'm not sure who trolled harder, but you get the idea from these replays.
So you might be asking yourself, why go to SkillCapped.com to improve when I could just watch YouTube guides or play the game? Well, let me show you. Let's say you're a mid laner who's struggling to climb the ladder. Not only would you get over 70 site exclusive courses for mid lane, but maybe really what you've been struggling with is trading as a mid laner. Well, we got you covered with 4 different courses breaking down how to trade as a mid laner. Not only do we have the largest catalog of guides for League of Legends in the entire world with over 1,500 videos to watch, but these are then curated by the top coaches and players into courses on every skill and topic you need to master in order to truly improve and climb the ladder. If all of this wasn't enough, we haven't even touched on our catalog of over 700 Smurf commentaries, where a challenger expert shows you how to climb out of your rank, and you're guaranteed to get any questions answered by them directly. Not to mention, we're the only service to offer a rank improvement guarantee. If you don't climb at least 5 divisions while actively using SkillCapped, you can claim a refund, no questions asked. So what are you waiting for? Head to skillcapped.com and get the rank you've always wanted. Link in the description below.
Alright guys, so in every single one of these replays, both players are just trolling from start to finish, letting each other get away with everything and anything. There are just free kills sitting there, you guys just have to take advantage of them. But I hope this opened your eyes a bit on how fed you could actually be getting in lane in these lower ELOs. Either way, I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you in the next one.